What's up, y'all? Don't look cute. My bestie gave me this hat and it's everything. She gave me this shirt too. Anyway, I wanted to come on here and do a what's up, y'all really quickly because I had an interesting exchange with someone the other day and I just thought it felt important to raise this particular point. So the other day in my stories, I posted an image of some coconut rice with M'Baku from Wakanda Forever on the cover. And I was like, capitalism is gross, is what I captioned that. And I found it so just bothersome. And I get, right, like, I get it. We used to do that with movies on cereal boxes and things like that, right? Like, it would be like, oh, this is, like, the Spider-Man on the cereal box, right? And that movie is connected to that particular brand of cereal. But it was a marketing one specifically done to children. So there's something really, it felt diminishing and infantile about like this food that is not a children's food with this fictional character on it using Black Panther to try to sell Black people coconut rice, or trying to sell anybody coconut rice with this fictional character. And I was like, this is not right? Like, this isn't, who is this supposed to appeal to? Black people. I was like, who's buying coconut rice, right? Like, the kids not looking at the coconut rice. Kids are looking at cereal boxes, right? So it felt like it was like using this sort of children's marketing ploy to appeal to the sensibilities of Black people. And then someone messaged me and said, the company's Black owned, and like if they've done licensing right, Disney, right, it might have been lucrative for them, and it seems like, this could have been done in right relationship. And when the person sent that, and I so appreciate them sending it because it gave me an opportunity to reflect, and the first thing that I sort of came to was like, it's not possible for capitalism to be in right relationship. Let me just say that again, people. For anybody who's confused, there is no way for capitalism to be inside of right relationship, because capitalism exists upon the premise that there are owners and that there are workers, and that owners deserve the profits and workers deserve to be extracted for their labor for the purpose of gaining profits. There is no way in that equation that you can have right relationship, because inside of that equation is an assumption of inequality, an assumption that there are some people who deserve less and some people who deserve more. That can't be in right relationship. It's not possible. And just because a company is Black doesn't make capitalism more amenable. And we've seen sort of, Jay-Z and by proximity, Beyonce and several other, of this sort of Black billionaire class continue to try to sell us the idea that there is a, that capitalism's critical flaw is that it doesn't give Black people access to it. And that as soon as Black people get access to capitalism, then capitalism will be good. No. No. Because it is a economic experiment whose foundations sit on the expectation of inequality. It sits and rests upon the idea that there will be some who have greater and some who should have less. And here's the sad but true reality. And here's how it ties back into the ladder of bodily hierarchy. If the premise of a philosophical argument or an economic system or any other structure in the world, if the premise that undergirds it is that some people deserve more and some people deserve less, or some people, let's say you take out the word deserve, some people will have more and some people will have less, but that is accepted as a sort of irrefutable element of life. If that is the place from which we are starting in a society that has already made the assessments about who's valuable and who's invaluable based on their bodies, I can assure you the bodies that are deemed less valuable will be the bodies that have less in that equation. There's no way around it. It is the inevitable outcome of a structure rooted and built in inequality. So, Black people, because you were told from jump day dot one that you were inherently inferior, that you were never going to be as good, that your body and your skin color and all the ways of your being were inherently inferior, the system that provides economic resource that is rooted in some people will have and some people will have less will most assuredly ensure that the lot of you, that the by and large, the vast majority of you will have less. You will have less in that structure. Anybody that is deemed a less valuable body will have less inside of that structure. So, capitalism ain't never finna let all the Black people in it. It's never gonna happen. Because it's antithetical to its design. And so, no, I don't feel better because the company with the Wakanda rice is Black. I don't feel better because capitalism is sprinkling its crumbs of inclusion on a few Black people, or a few trans people, or a few queer people, or a few disabled people. It will never change my critique of capitalism as a system, because as a system, it implies an inherent inequity. And I'm not interested in inherent inequity as the way in which we navigate the world. So, and the Wakanda rice had a lot of sodium in it. And Black people have a predilection for hypertension as a result of epigenetic trauma. So perhaps the least we could do is make sure that if they're going to give us Wakanda rice, it's going to be healthy, please. Anyway, capitalism cannot be in right relationship, people. It's not possible. But what is possible is the imagination of economic structures and designs that inherently honor the inherent divinity and value of all of us, and then build from there. I'm curious what that is. I want to know what right relationship economics looks like. I want to build it with us. Let's do it. But it ain't capitalism. All right. Bye, y'all.